Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here. In this video I'm going to be talking about recrystallizing the entire world. Now of course I am a man who is all about moving deeper into spirit, going within, doing the inner work, and especially over the past several weeks I have really intensified this inner work, really just double, triple, and quadruple checking myself to make sure that all traumas, reactions, and desires within myself are completely cleared away. And there has been a massive change through myself in doing a lot of this thorough inner work. And this has led me to the conversation of, well, if one really moves into their own state of self-mastery, where they feel that the inner world truly is the ultimate world, what do they do to help the outer world? If you look at a master, for example, who is in a cave or in a forest, right? Not that I'm in a cave or in a forest, I'm in my truck right now, but a bit of a different story there. But anyways, looking at the idea of a master in a cave or in a forest and saying, well, all this master really does is just stay inside the cave. All they really do is just stay inside the forest. They're really not doing anything. So how are they being a help for the entire earth? Well, they are actually being a tremendous help because they are acting as a type of transcendental buffer. That transcendental buffer is able to completely neutralize a lot of these heavy, dense, and stagnant thoughts that are caused by many different people going throughout the modern world. And this really is the idea of recrystallizing the entire world. It's all based upon the purity of your thinking. It's all based upon the purity of your feelings. And you are taking that and you are just broadcasting it, transmitting it throughout the entire world. This is what masters for many thousands of years have been able to do. And this is exactly how we keep the earth in such a state of stability, where we have not really seen these timelines that even go back into ancient prophecy that were really meant to be quite horrendous and horrifying. And a lot of them have not come to pass. It's not to say that there have been some that have been quite unpleasant, but anything in regards to the idea of a mass extinction level event with 80 to 90% of the world's population, or anything that may relate to that idea, has been successfully neutralized. And a lot of it has to do with the masters on this planet. You see, there are quite a lot of masters that are contained in the recesses of the world, whether they're in a cave, whether they're in a forest, whether they're on top of a mountain, whether they're by a river, what have you, or even those who are in the modern world, because there are masters in the modern world, in their homes, out and about, wherever they may be throughout the modern world, that is creating such a powerful buffer. It's that transmitter, it's that recrystallization of thought that is truly making a difference. Which means, for example, if you have a person who is just completely down in the dumps, they have a negative thought for every single person that they know. They have a negative thought for the entire planet. They have a negative thought towards God. They have a negative thought towards the entire universe. And this person is just in the bleakest of the bleak states. But then you look at the master's thought, and the master's purity, it's like a shining ray of light compared to a little horrendous, thick, dense black cloud. And that light just absorbs that cloud, and whoosh, that black cloud is completely extinguished. Well, that is exactly what we do. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I encourage you to do an exercise together with me now. And that is being able to look into yourself, just as you get yourself nice and relaxed right now, right? Keep your spine nice and straight. Take a deep breath in. Hold it just for a moment. And then just let it out very slowly through the nose. Very good. Do a few more of those if you need to. What I want you to do is just getting yourself comfortable, getting yourself relaxed, getting yourself centered. I want you to go back into just a brief moment of your life where you felt something was very rewarding, something was very joyous. There was a monumental experience that happened to you. Maybe it's a dream, a really positive dream that you had, and you remember exactly how you feel with it. I want you to take that memory of whatever that experience is. I want you just to hold it like it's in the palm of your hand. I want you just to look at that thought, and I want you to give it even more juice. Give it more of that love and saying, this was such a beautiful experience. I was so happy at that time. This moment was so extraordinary. This moment was so beautiful. And you're just expanding it and expanding it and expanding it and expanding it. Once you expand it, I want you to look at everything, of every place that you have touched, of every human that you know, of every experience that you can recall, all at once. I want you to send this big ball of love directly to it. So just take a moment, and we're not thinking about these things, we're just letting it happen for every human being that I've been in contact with, for every single place upon this planet that I have walked, for every experience that I've had upon this planet, good or bad. I am giving this ball of immense joy to that space. And we're going to take a deep breath in, and then when we breathe out, I want you to give this ball of energy to all of those experiences. You ready? Take a deep breath in and send it out. And clear. There you go. You have completely recrystallized those aspects of the world. You have helped to give crystallization to the people that you have met, whether they're good, whether they're bad, doesn't matter. You've been able to give that recrystallization to the places that you have gone, whether they were beautiful or whether they were stingy or down in the dumps, whatever it may be, doesn't matter. You're giving it that crystallization. You're just reflecting on all of your experiences all at once, and you're giving it that pure and total recrystallization. So, reflecting on that, how did that make you feel? Well, that made me feel incredible. That made me feel wonderful. Great. This is the example I'm giving about recrystallizing the entire world. What if we did that every single day? What if we did that frequently, daily? Well, then we're going to be living in a world that's much more beautiful than what we're seeing, right? It's not about thinking that we need to put our hopes in politicians, or we need to put our hopes in trying to make the financial system better, or trying to put our hopes into all of these governmental agencies, or feeling that there needs to be changes in regards to the modern systems. Those will all come in their own considerable ways. But that is not your liberation. You see, you think that your liberation is based upon the liberation of the earth and its people, and it's not. If that was the case, none of us would really be going anywhere. If that was the case, we wouldn't have these particular masters that I speak about on the planet. We would not have a Buddha or a Jesus or a Krishna or a Zoroaster or anything of that nature that represents these great masters, if we basically relied on how the world is going. You see, that becomes a stumbling block. That becomes a barrier, which means that your own liberation is subjective. How you see the world and how you present yourself to the world and what you want to give to the world is always based upon your subjectivity. It's not about waiting by the clock and say, okay, humanity, what's going on here? Let's all get together and let's change this world around. Come on, chop, chop. It's almost dinner time. That's not what it's about. That's not how it is. It is about your subjective transformation. It is about how you are presenting to the world, just as we did through that exercise. This is how we recrystallize the entire planet. Continuously working together with those joyful thoughts, those joyful feelings, and completely expanding them, amplifying them, putting them towards every person you've ever met, putting them towards every place that you've ever met, putting them towards every experience you've had. And then we start growing even more from there. I'm going to give it to every single human being on this planet. I'm going to give it to them. And that's great. That's you planting a seed in their field. And as we spend more time recrystallizing the planet, you're going to notice that the events on the earth are going to reciprocate by the joy, the love, and the recrystallization effect that you are giving the planet yourself. That's how events work. Events don't just happen by coincidence. They're not just random things that are falling out of the sky. Everything pertaining to the nature of event here on the planet follows the marquee of how we are emotionally engaged throughout the planet, how we are mentally engaged throughout the planet, how we interpret things is how the events collectively come together. It's all one big soup, and it's all based upon our causal nature to see how the effect from that cause is now substantiating life as we know it, based upon events that are corroborating with the intentions that we give out through our concepts, through our ideas, through our feelings, through our thoughts. That is what makes the world go around pertaining to the events, is the collective soup of how we feel, of how we interact, of how we involve and experience ourselves through this planet. So what happens if we start making it beautiful? If we start bringing the joyfulness in, we now start shining those beams of light down upon those dark, dense, black clouds. And now they start to dissolve because we're doing something so simple. It's putting thought into action. It's putting thought into action. It's crystallizing the entire planet. It is seeding the bed of the earth, and everybody benefits from this. The world benefits much more from your joy, your love, your compassion than it could ever, never really benefit from your hatred, from your pain, from your suffering, and from your anguish. Can never benefit from that. You're just adding more dark clouds into the fray. But what happens if you shine that light down? Those black clouds dissipate. They dissolve. They vanish. This is the great service that you can do for the entire world, for the entire human race, and all life upon it, learning how to recrystallize the world through the power of your joy, love, compassion, and peace. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again, Divine Masters, in another perspective of the now. Take care, and be well.